I am a senior majoring in mathematics and statistics, and this is my third semester in being a career ambassador. Some of you may have seen me before in some presentations, so got a reputation going.
Hi everyone, like Sarah said, I'm Stephanie Evans, and I'm a senior major in Spanish language, literature, and accounting. This is my second semester as a career ambassador.
Hi, I'm Robert Bullard. I'm majoring in physics and applied math. I'm a junior. This is actually my first semester as a career ambassador and my first launch, so please go easy on me. And today we just want to talk to you about looking for jobs and internships, co-ops and the like, and how you can use ePACK and other tools to your advantage. And Stephanie's going to get us started.
So before we get started, what I want y'all to do, each of you should have a half sheet. You hopefully didn't sat on it and picked it up. What I want y'all to do, take 30 seconds now, get a pen out, pencil out, write on your half sheet a question that you have on the job and internship search process, and a question you're hoping to get answered tonight. We'll do a little bit more with that in a second. So take 30 seconds. I got like one pen. Does anyone not have a utensil? Just one person? Perfect. I got the okay, no, not perfect. Can you go that one? You got extras?
There's one back here. I got a pen.
Okay, we're good. So look up if you're done. Make sure how many people are through. If you're not done, just pay attention as you finish writing. So we're going to break up into two groups. We're going to have this side of the room. I'm going to break y'all in half. So somewhere along everyone on this side, I want y'all to stand, not yet, stand in the middle. And then everyone on this side, stand to the right and face each other. And then the same thing on this side. I'm going to break y'all from here on. You're going to stand in the middle, face that way. Here on, stand on the left, face each other. And what I want y'all to do is with your half sheet, crumple it up. Right? So crumple that up. And then as you go to your side of the room, lock eyes with someone. Hopefully someone you don't know. Find a new friend. Right? Lock eyes with them, point at them so you know your partners, all that good stuff. And what we're going to have you do, throw your snowballs. And then Riku, find a snowball, you won't find yours, and then share what's on it. So go ahead and do that.
So split up.
You're on this side. You're only on that side, you're staring at each other. Find a partner on this side.
And then crumble it up.
Get up, crumble.
Hopefully, should be okay.
Just active. Monday after a hurricane. If you haven't already, everyone, throw your snowball. Okay. Find your partner and grab any snowball on the floor. Find your partner and grab any snowball on the floor. Share the question that's on the sheet with each other. Share with your partner the question on your sheet. All right. After you share, return to your seats. Let's get back together. Back in your class. I want y'all. Okay. Sure. So I want y'all to remember the question that your partner asked you, and make sure that it gets answered. So I'm holding each of you accountable to all of y'all's learning. If it doesn't get answered by the time we cover the topic, by the end of the presentation, be sure to ask the question. And throughout, raise your hand. Ask questions. We want to make sure you get the most out of this presentation. And I'll pass it over to Stephanie.
All right. So before we get started talking about the different job search strategies, I wanted just to clarify the differences between internships, co-ops, and full-time positions. Because depending on what position that you're looking for, your job search strategy will need to be tailored to that. So to start off, some similarities between internships, co-ops, and full-time positions are that what you're going to need in order to get those positions is a great resume and a great cover letter. So hopefully you've been to the launch previously that talked about resumes and cover letters, and if not, you can go to the Career Development Center from 11 to 2 to get your resume critiqued, or you can meet with your career counselor. So also with that, you need to make sure you're researching these companies. So if you want to spend a summer in New York, interning at a fashion company, or you're interested in tech, things like that, you want to make sure you research those companies to make sure it's a great fit for you. Because the last thing you want to do is to waste your time and to waste the employer's time not getting the right opportunity for you. And as well, as Robert will be talking about later, networking can help you get all three of these. Whether it's talking with the professor, talking with a family friend, talking with someone that you met in launch, there's many opportunities to network. And so differences I wanted to point out is the timing of when recruiters recruit for these positions, as well as it may differ depending on industry. So with internships, you can get those in the fall, you can get those in the spring and the summer. But with co-ops, what you'll need to do is attend a co-op orientation with a co-op counselor that will help you go through that process, which usually happens in the fall, but it can happen in the spring. And with full-time positions, that sometimes depends on the company itself or the industry itself. For instance, in accounting, I'm an accounting major, they tend to hire full-time positions sometimes in the fall. So the last thing you want to do is wait until January looking for a full-time position your senior year if they've already went through those recruitment cycles. So what I want you guys to take from this is you need to know your industry and also know what you're looking for. Because the better you understand that, the better you can get your action plan and process earlier. And so now Robert's going to talk about networking.
Okay. So, networking. It's one of the most important things that you have at your disposal when you're looking for a job, an internship, or a co-op. Pretty much is what you just did. Who just met somebody that they didn't know? Pretty much everybody in here.
Cool. Yeah, I like it.
Now that was forced networking, but you can also network in your own time. So about 80% of jobs come from some type of mutual connection. So it's an extremely important skill to know. I'll give you an example. I work in a research lab for the physics department. On my first day in my introductory physics class, I sat in the front row, I asked questions, I got to know the professor that was teaching the class. You usually get an advisor as a freshman who's not associated with your college. I had an advisor, didn't know. Next semester comes around. The guy that I had been talking to and getting to know is my advisor. So I go talk to him in his office, let him know I'm interested in what he does, and eventually I got an offer to come work for him in his lab. And all it took was knocking on his door, getting to know him as a person. So it's an incredibly useful skill. If it's a little bit uncomfortable, as talking to new people often is, you just got to psych yourself up for it. And you got to also realize that professors, people that do something for a living, they usually do it because they love it and they love to talk about it. So you're not going to be doing most of the talking. You're just going to be sitting, listening, being attentive, and showing that you actually care about what the person is telling you. It's basically the story of their life. Another example of why a network is so important is when a job or internship becomes available. Say an opportunity comes up at a bank. This happened to a friend of mine. I have some friends in a mutual organization that work for Credit Suisse, and they went through the internship process. They now hold jobs there. They posted to a board. They said, hey, we're looking for interns from Poole College of Management. Another friend of mine jumped on it, got an interview, got an internship this summer just because he knew somebody, but he's also qualified. But getting him in the door was the hardest part. Once he was in the door, he got the internship, and now he has a full-time job offer upon graduation. So it's an incredibly important skill.
And just like what Robert was saying with networking, sometimes doing things that kind of are outside of your comfort zone or stepping outside of the organizations that you're in right now can help you with networking. And I have an example. I'm an accounting major, like I said before. And so one semester I decided to do an accounting case competition, which was basically me and 3 other students who had this case that we had to solve. And so I really just did it so it could be something that I would put on my resume. But what happened was we ended up being one of the top teams, and we got to go to DC and present our case in front of the board of like the most esteemed, most professional people in public accounting. It was very nerve-wracking, but after we did it, I got to sit down and talk to these people. I got to connect with them on LinkedIn, and right there expanding my network. Now I have people in DC that if I want to work in DC, I can contact them for opportunities. So just knowing that networking, there are no boundaries with networking. And so you should look at every opportunity as an opportunity to network and utilize your network.
So just like there's no boundaries, there are a few things you may or may not know when it comes to where can I search for opportunities to network. One, for example, are professional associations. How many of you have heard of one or in one? Yeah? Well, they're everywhere, right? So I'm a math major, and I might be interested in finding these professional associations, which are just organizations by professionals in this industry that I'm interested in. So they gather around the notion of teaching math and doing research in math. And that's something I'm interested in, so I might be interested in finding a professional association related to it. And all it takes, Google your major and professional associations. This is just gave me 8 to look at right there, right? And actually, American Mathematical Society, a lot of these professional associations have discounts for students. So typically you pay some yearly fee, subscription to be a part of this organization, but you get benefits as well. So get to know what news is happening in the organization and have an opportunity to go to these conferences that they're holding and network with professionals. And often there's a discount for students. So I think the full price for having the yearly subscription for the American Mathematical Society was like $180. As a student, I paid $35. Pretty good discount. So take advantage of any possible opportunity you can find. Now we just told you a whole bunch of stories about how you can find different contacts and network, but what are you going to do? You got these names, you got these organizations, you know there's opportunities to meet people, but what are you going to do? Well, there's something called an informational interview, right? Now what this is if you have someone in mind, a contact you want to talk to, what this is asking them, hey, could we meet up for a coffee or over the phone, have a conversation, for me to ask you some questions and get to know you a little bit better, whether it's because they're in a certain field you're interested in, whether it's they're in a company you're interested in, whether they're in the dream job that you're interested in, whatever connection it might be, get some information from them. Ask them questions like, do you like your job? What don't you like about your job? Ask about the company. How's the work environment? How's the peer-to-peer relationship there? Is there a life-to-work balance in that company? Any question you're interested in, be sure to ask those professionals, right? Marcy Bullock, who is our advisor and Ben Benedictus' boss, who's our graduate advisor for the Career Development Center, she connected me with a math major who graduated a couple of years ago and got a job in the Navy, and I had a phone call with her, just 30 minutes, 2 weeks ago, right? And I got to ask about position, what it's like to work in the Navy as a mathematician. And it was amazing, because I'm interested in maybe working with the government. They have a whole bunch of opportunities for math majors, and I know that that's a great opportunity for me to just get information and expand my contact. And one of the most important things you can do, first of all, be interested. You're not just saying, hey, give me a job, right? Just, hey, can I get some information? Isn't that a little more sincere? Genuine interest? The best thing you can do at the end of this informational interview, ask them, is there anyone else I can contact? This is how your network expands, right? So when you ask them all these questions and they get a good idea and impression of you, ask them, who else can I talk to? 4 more leads show up. Follow those. Do more informational interviews. As your network builds, your name gets thrown around in the industry, and you have more contacts to go to as soon as you want to find a job and when you're graduating, right? How many of us are seniors and juniors? These are things you want to be doing now, and freshmen and sophomore, you can do those now as well. They'll help you find internships, they'll help you find co-ops, but networking is your biggest way to get a job, so don't take it lightly. Now, one of the toughest things about networking is that there's a bad stigma to it, right? 2 years ago, before I became a career ambassador, networking is like the scariest thing. It's like, I have to sell myself, I have to get, fidget and not really be myself and genuine a person with this professional. And Professional is a big word when I felt like I was a student. But that's just a fear of mine of maybe they won't like me, maybe I can't get any useful information. What if I end up like they really hate me? I don't know. That is a fear to get over and just become comfortable with another person, because that's what they are, another person. And they're great resources to help you gain information. So don't be afraid, take those actions, and as you do it more and more, that practice is going to help you get better and better at being comfortable with talking to professionals, and it helps you transition from a student into a professional. Now, before we do the activity, are there any questions so far on networking? You're keeping each other responsible for those questions. Any of them haven't been answered. Okay.
Okay, so I know you guys are probably wondering why I was asking you to take random things out of my hand when you walked in here, but there was a purpose to that. So we're going to do a quick activity. So first, if you took a popsicle stick from me, if you could come to this part of the room.
Like now?
Yes, right now, all the popsicle sticks to that side of the room. If you had a bead, if you lost it, it's okay. We know it's really small. If you had a bead, if you could just come to the middle part of this room. And if you have rubber band, to this side of the room.
Okay.
Excuse me, sir. Can I sign in real quick? I was just a tag. Here, I have my card out.
Okay, and yes. Does anyone not have anything? If not, you can just join. Okay, so what we're gonna do now, it would be kind of, if you guys can kind of make a line, sort of, it might be better. But we're gonna play a game called Connection. And so the point of this is to get you guys to understand how you can network with each other. So what you're gonna do is, one person is going to start, and they're gonna say something about themselves. We have some examples up here. You can say like your career goal, if you want to become a doctor, something like that. And if there's a person in your group that has the same thing in common with you, they will say connection, and they're going to link arms with you. And then that next person is going to say something that they want to do. It could be a hobby, it could be something you're interested in, somewhere you've traveled, favorite sport, things like that. What you can't do is repeat something someone has already said. And if someone in your group doesn't have that in common with you, you have to think of something else. We want to make this more entertaining, so what we want to do is we want to see which group can link together in one circle the fastest. Whoever does that gets candy. Does anyone have any questions? Is everybody good? Can we just get one person to start it off to volunteer in each group to start?
Someone raise their hand. This man right here.
Okay, so he's starting. Wait, no.
Before you start, just make sure you know who's starting.
Okay, just make sure you know who's starting. Because it's a competition, okay? Wait. We can't start yet.
Before you start,
Sorry. Just know who's starting, okay? Are you ready? On your mark, get set, go.
only one person can English.
Only one person
So
can English.
let's just start here. So you link arms.
Can't touch it. Stand there. Is anyone in SBS? Is anyone in?
I have a biology.
I play tall.
I played soccer at senior year.
What basketball?
I'm a first year engineer.
No, you can only do one. You can only do one. Yeah, you can only do one.
Yes, I'm doing that. I would like to travel abroad.
Oh, come on. Get as general as you can.
Anyone play volleyball? Anyone dance?
What's the
I'm trying Okay, my dad works for them. I work with CMS, like secure biology.
Here front.
Ron Moore?
Y'all, find your seats. Except the winners. You'll get your candy. I got y'all. All right, take one each. Take 5 or these guys? There's a can of this though. If you're really clean it out, don't take 5. Is anyone missing a bone? Find it afterwards.
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I realized this is the last one.
Yeah.
Look at the peanut butter and that.
Okay, so we hope that this activity showed you how, even though it seemed like at first it was kind of awkward and weird to yell out random facts about yourself to people you don't know, it's not as bad as it seems because we're all, like Prim said, they're all just people. You're just talking to another person. So there's no reason to become too nervous about it. Just try to psych yourself up. Try to not psych yourself up and just don't let that get in your head and just relax.
And one of the best things about this activity is that you notice that when it comes to activities you do, hobbies you have, career goals, majors, these are points for conversation, right? When it comes to networking, your point of conversation is first, how do you know each other, maybe? Marcy Bullock was my contact for this person who worked for the Navy. That is a point of contact. We can have a short conversation, start off with good energy. What do we have in common? These are points you have in common that you can find out about.
So moving on from networking, there also are other opportunities that you can use along with networking to search for different jobs, internships, and co-ops. And so we wanted to highlight our industry-specific job boards. So instead of using like simplyhire.com or indeed.com, looking for job boards that are specific to the industry you're interested in will help you narrow down your search and filter out a lot of the jobs that you aren't looking for. Sometimes if you're looking for a marketing internship, you don't want to be getting a lot of results for like a babysitter position or like a lifeguard or things like that. So like Prim said, it's similar to looking up professional organizations. You can just do a simple Google search and you can look up different organizations like these. And so what I wanted to do is demo the difference between using something like monster.com, which is a more general job board, and using a specific one, which is the Mathematical Association of America. So as you can see, I've already done this search for a math professor in Georgia, and it says they found 1,000 jobs. And so right there, I can tell you all those jobs aren't math related. But if you look, you have field service technician, a registered nurse case manager, working in Macy's seasonal retail. Those aren't necessarily things that you want if you want to be a professor. But then if you look at this one, there's only 82 jobs that they found. So right there you can see it's a more narrow search, and you probably won't apply to all 82 positions, but at least it's better than going through 1,000. And so as you can see, some of the top searches are actual higher education positions. So I just want you guys to keep this in mind. It's a great tool to use so that when you're looking for jobs, that you can not waste your time when you're working on your plan. And speaking of job boards, we want to talk about ePACK with you guys. I don't know if any of you have used it or navigated through it, but basically, or essentially what ePACK is a job board that's just for NC State students. So what employers do is they post their different postings through ePACK that only NC State students can access. And so through this, it's another great tool that you can use along with networking. If you meet an employer, you might be able to get their contact information from ePACK, things like that. So it's a great tool to use. And so I just want to go over a few resources before we go into a more detailed tutorial of ePACK. So if you look on the right here where it says Jump To, these are other resources that NC State has made available for students to use. You have Career Shift, Going Global, and USA Career Guides. So just quickly with Career Shift, if you're looking for jobs that are nationwide, maybe something that's not in North Carolina, you can look here. Or it just gives you a more expansive list of postings that may not to work internationally, going global is a great resource as well. And so I have here, let's say you want to work in Australia doing research. So I've typed in Australia, I've typed in research. If I click search, here are a lot of research positions that are in Australia. So if that's something that you want to do, things like that. They also have on this website country guides, information about career information, information about different careers according to certain countries, things like that, if you're looking for a good starting space on working outside of the country. And so now Robert is going to talk more about
By the way, again, throughout, make sure that you're asking questions if you have them. If they haven't been answered on a topic we talked about, we'll give you candy, right? Hopefully, you'll have some questions on there. Yeah, in the back. What's your name?
Carmen?
Carmen?
Yeah. How do you begin to look for an internship?
Yeah. So definitely with the job boards, through ePACK, through any certain, what kind of internship are you interested in?
Any, honestly.
Right, so let's start with something general on ePACK. And then try a couple of different searches that we'll talk about in a little bit. Because that's what you want to get out of this presentation. How do I find an internship?
So if you don't really know what type of internship you're looking for, maybe we'll start with events, because that'll give you a good idea. Over here on the events tab, go to career fairs. I know the STEAM career fair is coming up next week. But this is just a list of all the career connections and information sessions that are available. So you've got graduate programs, if you're interested in that, full college management career fair. All of these are great opportunities. Let's click on this one. This is what I'm going to next week.
Tuesday.
Yeah, Tuesday. You can go down here. If you want to search for employers, you can do that. If you don't know what you're looking for, there are 113 employers to choose from. You can click on one. So that one. Go down, read what they're looking for, read about them, a little bit of the company's history. It links to all the positions that are available, including the website. Click on positions. Alright, job leads or available positions. Okay, so sometimes they're not listed on ePACK. If they're not, you're going to go to the email, not email address, the website link. You can check those.